understanding Canada, the 51st state, very important. A lot of distinctions must be made here. And it's more for a group, but generally for followers too. There's a major malfunction with Canada. Everybody is seeing it, at least a lot of folks who get on with my videos. Some are not at the real stage of actually looking at Canada, the 51st state. They're still holding on to this concept of saving Canada or fixing Canada. And it's just not going to happen because people are still trapped on this left-right narrative. And in America, that narrative exists. It certainly does. Because why? Because in Canada, we also have a similar spectrum as the United States, except for that's up and down. Many presidents have talked about this. We can look back, JFK, Ronald Reagan, now Donald J. Trump. And they're not the only ones, but you can find tremendous speeches on them. And I should throw in Richard Nixon there, right in the middle between JFK. Actually, before JFK, then back to Nixon, then later on to Ronald Reagan, into now Donald J. Trump. All have tremendous speeches, historical speeches, even a lot better than Donald J. Trump today. And this is on the spectrum of up and down. Ignoring left and right for a moment here, folks. And this distinguishes Americans and Canadians absolutely. That's why, fundamentally, Canada, the 51st state, must be the ultimate path forward, because we need to ditch that spectrum we're on of up and down, where all Canadians, regardless of your left and right affiliation, does not matter, because you are all, me, you, everybody. This is First Peoples, this is Canadians alike. You live on the top spectrum. First Nations should know this absolutely inside and out. A lot of Canadians over the course of COVID-19 woke up, and yes, most of which, but not all, most of which fall on the right side of the spectrum when you're going left to right. But there were a lot of left folks too. And I know this absolutely because it's distinguished in the United States. But it's about autocracy. Up here, power to the politician. Down here, power to the people. That also equals your sovereignty. In Canada, largely, the vast majority of Canadians have zero sovereignty and are in fact in an autocracy where the power is vested in the politicians alone. All those elected, you elect, electoral autocracy, and then those they appoint, which far outpaces any elected positions anyway. Canadians can't get it. You hear the words over and over, bashed into your brain since you were a young toddler. Early childhood development. Crown, 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 crown. You just know it's something that you have to put above you. It's way up here. It's something superior to you. You can't help it. You just assume that position, that they are superior to you in every way. Those are serious titles. You're beneath them. You even give away your sovereignty. You do it without even batting an eye. Now, America, that's not how Americans are. It's not how their early childhood development all the way on through their lives. It is power to the people. At the earliest stages of community, family and community at the basic level, that executive authority rests with the people. You see it on the judicial. You also see it in the policing, which is the executive branch. They are electing their local sheriff. They're electing their magistrates at the very primal, earliest stages of community after family, when it's groups of families in a community. That's how it works in America. this is not the same in Canada, not even remotely close. In fact, the more rural you are, the more federal oversight you have, the more authority the politicians have over you. And even when you get into the mega cities, it's all mostly going towards the federal, which is wrong. Now, when we talk, like, I've let a few videos go, and, you know, when you talk about social experiments, sure enough, all of a sudden people start posting, while he's letting these videos go, let's start posting more Canadians who want to fix Canada crap. And I won't do it, not on Canada, the 51st state, because I wouldn't even share that crap, and that's what it is, on even my own pages, and I don't. And the reason is because it's power to the politicians. I could give a shit less in Canada, and for Americans who follow me, I know you get it. Canadians and Canadian First Peoples don't. American Indians get this, but Canadian First Peoples largely don't either. And there are groups that are waking up to it. That's great, but we're an extreme minority. But the idea of ever fixing Canada is gone. That is never going to happen. It's just not a reality. I've left that fiction a long time ago because it's always the same thing, based on Canadian federalism, thinking that it's like American federalism. It's not, because whether the sovereignty is in the province's provincial crown or a territorial crown or with the federal government, things like C5 are always going to be autocratic. There's C5 for the province of Ontario right now too. Doug Ford has his version too. And again, it doesn't matter, because you, the people of Canada, you, the First Peoples of Canada, who are suffer even greatlier than Canadians, even though it doesn't matter, it's bad for both, because it's more power to the politicians, less to the people, even though there is hardly any, almost none for the First Peoples, nearly zero, and maybe a 5 percentile for Canadian subjects. That's about it. And you can try to equate that to the federalism, the power of the provinces and territories. It gives a little bit more than what the First Peoples get. That's nearly nothing, but not by much more. And bragging about your job where it's taxation without representation, and you're imposed all these wills anyway, and it's always for the benefit of the politicians at the great expense of the working class Canadian. This is small business, medium business, even some large businesses, but when you get into the crown corporations, crown societies, foundations, non-profits, they're reaping all the benefits at your tremendous expense, devaluating you, inflating you, stealing from you and the children of tomorrow. This is a great fight of America. The presidents come along all the time, even state governors. They're designed for it in their checks and balances as a protection for the people of America, to maintain the people's sovereignty. And rightfully so, you see some abuse, but they always lose. Like Gavin Newsom, lost on everything. Really, I'm not going to comment on California. I know what should happen to Gavin Newsom, and I will educate Republicans over the course of July to August, as I'm also working on World Constitution Day and Canada's Great Truth, to expose the provinces and territories and the federal government of Canada. Bill C5 is tremendously bad for all First Peoples, probably the worst. It's also bad for Canadians. But Canadians, you've got to wake up that your provincial crown holds your sovereignty. Many provinces have much more provincial crown land than they do federal. And they're not releasing any more land to any of you. They could, but they don't. They're not giving you provincial constitutions, which there is not a state of the union that doesn't have any of that for the people. Where sovereignty is found for the people is at the state level. And that's through the state constitutions. And it's recognized in the federal Constitution of the United States of America. Many people still try to share with me articles of Confederation USA or videos of that. And it's really, really embarrassing because that is not America today. Hasn't been America for over 241 years, 43 years in some respects. Yes, the military is out of that in the United States. That explains its piss poor public health care system that's highly centralized. But again, that's all for other matters. For all the wrongs in America, it's got a whole bunch right. And giving the power to the people, bringing that autocracy down on the spectrum here, where now there's only a fight left and right, and the people are maintaining the power, is where it's at. That's the basis starting point. That's where every Canadian should want to be, regardless of left or right. But I know a vast majority in the 90 percentile are trapped way up here in the autocracy, blind to it. I see the videos all the time. I do enjoy the LaRouge organization. I'm proud of friends and followers sharing that video. I only post one version, so people who get rejected on videos, if you go look on our page, you'll see the videos are there, but somebody beat you to it. And sometimes I comment, but if I'm swamped, which generally every day I am, sometimes I just reject the videos. It's not because I don't like it. You just have to go look and see, oh, okay, somebody already just posted that a half hour before me, an hour before me, or whatever it is, or it's there on the page for you to see. And I enjoy a lot about the LaRouge organization. There's a new lady I haven't seen before. I'm glad you all shared that. That's great to go through. But never forget, Americans, and there's a large amount of LaRouge. I know there's some in Canada too, but when it comes to Americans, they live down here. They don't have up and down issues. They don't. There's no spectrum for them. America gets 100% full pass on that. Canadians, you are up here in autocracy. You don't get a pass on that, and you can't ignore that. If you're ignoring that, you're way behind the 8 ball, because that's a major pillar we need to overcome. And that far outpaces narratives of left and right when you're way up here. And until a lot of folks come to terms with that, you're really not for Canada the 51st state, because you've missed the boat on the primary reason for it. Moving from up here in power of the politician to down here power of the people. Then through constitutionalism, this state level constitution, we can work on left and right narratives. That's called your constitution, how you develop. And then it changes center on that, because Canadians, another thing too, and people are right about this, it's just they've skipped the first step of the up and down narratives. They've missed that boat, and they're forever doomed. This goes for Canada strong and free, Canada North strong and free. There's many variations of what people think are freedom, but until you address that up and down scale first, you're a lost puppy, and I'm sorry. I teach this all the time, routinely. I go through it. I hope this video finds a lot of people well. Please share, because C5, whether it's federal or provincial, you never had the sovereignty anyway, because you live up here in autocracy. You are a constitutional monarchy, not a we the people republic. That's what statehood promises. That's probably the greatest reason, at least for me, and why I do what I do, and why I champion Canada the 51st state, because I want to go from up here on power of the politician to down here power of the people. And then through state constitutional development over 2 years, you get that left and right centered, and then of course parties can go from there. But until you do any of that, you're doomed. That's my video. Tremendous knowledge, tremendous truth. I hope for new people you come to terms with these things, because it's critical. God bless everybody. Bye now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Got a Toronto game tomorrow, actually. Before I go, there's a space with Jonathan. He's going to go through a lot. He's doing it from a nuclear bunker. out east on the East Coast. So stay tuned for that. I may be a little late because it's my first MLB game. It's a bucket list item as we get closer to finishing. Well, at least I finished my contract here in Darlington. And I'm doing a few bucket list items. Never been to an MLB game. I want to do that so I can say, check mark, I did that at least before 50. Okay, God bless everybody. Tune in Sunday with Jonathan. It's a good one. I should be in there a little bit later. I don't know. I may make it for 4. It might be a little later. But we're going to go into a whole bunch on Trump, a bunch of G7 narratives, other things I've showcased, evidence I've provided. Again, on that left and right, joining together in this up here autocracy that Canada always does. And so many Canadians miss it. Americans will never miss it, but Canadians do every time. Horse blinders and its institutionalization. It's from our childhood. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.